Hi, I'm Chris Nunn. I'm the General Manager of ESG at Scape, which is a purpose-built student accommodation company that builds, owns, operates residential real estate in Australia. We've recently become part of the Living Company, which also has a retirement living business and a build-to-rent apartment business. In terms of operational efficiency and achieving our net zero carbon goals, switching to 100% renewable electricity contracts has been a significant part of the initial stage on our path to net zero by 2030. And largely through doing this, Scape has seen a 45% reduction in our combined Scope 1 and 2 emissions from 2023 to 2024. With this transition to renewable electricity almost complete, we are increasingly focused on improving energy efficiency. And with these energy efficiency initiatives, we're of course contributing to lower operating costs, as well as moving toward our net zero carbon target, which is a win-win. In terms of like-for-like performance change in energy efficiency, specifically, we're now focused on phasing out fossil gas-fired equipment, such as gas-fired domestic hot water heating systems, which will convert to electric heat pumps using low global warming potential refrigerants such as CO2 and propane. We've done several of these conversions already as part of new building and one retrofit on one of our existing buildings. And we plan to convert 20 of our 39 operational assets in our purpose-built student accommodation business from gas to electric in the next 5 years at the end of life of our existing gas equipment. We're also nearly finished converting gas cooktops to induction stoves, and we've converted gas barbecues to electric barbecues. There were even gas-powered laundry machines, which have now been converted to electric machines. Together, this will result in energy efficiency gains of approximately 17% over the next 5 years, making the biggest contribution toward our target of a 20% improvement in energy efficiency by 2030 versus our 2023 baseline. In addition to electrification of fossil gas-fired equipment, we're also working on a new controls architecture, which we hope will deliver improved energy efficiency through greater ability to turn equipment off or down when the conditions permit. We also hope to implement this demand response system to help move toward time of use energy consumption that lowers both our overall carbon footprint from grid electricity and also saves cost by shifting consumption out of the highest cost and highest carbon times of day for our domestic grid, which is the evening peak. Actually, we've had some challenges with using the like-for-like method for tracking our performance, and we think that method has actually created some challenges for us in terms of variations in our occupancy. The kilowatt hour per meter squared metric that the like-for-like energy efficiency measure is based on is actually blind to variations in occupancy that may sometimes explain year-to-year changes in performance. For example, during the COVID pandemic, where occupancy at Scape's asset dropped to low levels, GRESB was benchmarking our kilowatt hours per meter squared, which of course that number went down as occupancy dropped. So our GRESB performance scores went up. But actually, this was a false positive. It just reflected lower utilization of the building, not an actual improvement in energy efficiency performance. Conversely, as the buildings filled up post-COVID, which is a good thing, our GRESB scores suffered with negative results as the like-for-like performance metric judged us to have been getting worse on a kilowatt hours per meter squared basis. So this was a problem that seriously affected our GRESB scores for the last 5 years. So finally, we have the non-COVID years of 2023, which is our 24 GRESB submission, versus 2024 calendar year, our most recent 25 GRESB submission, when the occupancy was finally relatively comparable over 2 like-for-like years. And then the like-for-like scores started to become more sensible as a performance metric for us again. And so for this reason, we're really pleased to see GRESB moving in the direction of performance benchmark-based scoring for efficient assets relative to international best practice benchmarks of energy efficiency. And we think this is a great alternative to like-for-like scoring of energy per meter squared against previous performance. We'd really love to see this performance-based approach extended to carbon, waste, and water as well. We also hope to see a move away from, or in addition to, kilowatt hours per meter squared to kilowatt hours per person. The business case for energy efficiency at Scape and Living Company focuses on 4 key things. The first is lower operating cost, which makes a strong contribution to improved valuations. The second is access to capital. Our equity partners are very focused on our ESG performance, including our GRESB score. So if we don't take a strong approach to improving energy efficiency, it could limit our access to capital. Likewise, since 2023, our main debt facility at Scape, which is now a $2.7 billion Australian dollar loan, has been a sustainability-linked loan. This has unlocked a 5 basis point interest rate discount in exchange for us achieving agreed sustainability performance outcomes. So linking a financial benefit on our debt profile to agreed sustainability targets. Finally, it lowers our risk profile to have more energy efficient buildings. Owning and operating efficient buildings is obviously a lower risk strategy than owning and operating inefficient buildings, as more of our stakeholders, including our investors, the banks, and our residents in the building, our customers, all express interest in our ESG performance, and all other things being equal, they may choose a competitor if they consider our ESG credentials lacking. We clearly don't want that, so competitive positioning is really important in terms of our ESG performance. We aim to be the Earth's best living company. An important part of that aspiration is a strong and credible approach to ESG and continuous performance improvement. Operational efficiency for us means optimizing our spaces to serve the maximum number of building occupants while maintaining the best practice levels of comfort and well-being and using the least amount of energy.